I started with Procter Gamble in 1981, right after I graduated from Duke, and was with them for 26 years before retiring. The move from working for P&G to being a professor here at Duke went fairly smoothly. And now all I've done is kind of shifted from understanding consumers and the people who worked for me to understanding the consumers for the knowledge I put out now, and that's my students. I was looking at some of the old P&G commercials and other commercials that are now being digitized by Duke, and they almost provide a history of U.S. culture. You know, in the middle of last century, 50s, even early 60s, the center of the commercial was always the housewife who worked at home. It was her job to provide for the family and create the right nest for the family to thrive. You know, back in the 60s, there were just 3 networks, so you could really capture the consumer's mind and tell a story. You know, I can think of the Charmin ads with Mr. Whipple. There's understanding there of how to run a campaign, where it was always Mr. Whipple, it was please don't squeeze the Charmin, yet they brought in new characters to show a different story, highlight a different story. So those campaigns ran for years. Then there were some like Pampers, where the boxes are different, the packages of the product are different, but in a lot of ways they were still very much the same as today. It showed great interaction between a mother, caring mother, and a baby. They talked about wetness and softness on the baby's skin, things like that, which are, still part of Pampers today. It was interesting seeing some of the young stars who were in some of these commercials, who might not have been stars at the time, but later turned out to be stars. There was one commercial of Crest where a young Bill Cosby was lying on some giant teeth with a pickaxe and talking about he was tooth decay, but because of Crest toothpaste and the person whose teeth he was laying on using Crest after every meal, there really wasn't a lot for him to do. Understanding where advertising started, the techniques that were used then, it's part of your history, it's part of understanding culture. So I think it's important for anybody to have a good background in where we've been to understand where we need to go in the future.